He used my heart, my skills, and my business, then kicked me out like I was nothing and moved in with my best friend. Please stay with me as I tell you my story. And please do not forget to support our channel by subscribing, liking, and sharing with your loved ones. I met Jake in college. I was the quiet girl with big dreams, and he was the charming guy everyone liked. I shared my business idea with him. He loved it, supported it, and promised we'd build it together. We started small, just the two of us working day and night. Slowly, things grew. We got noticed, we got money, we became a team. When the work got too much, I brought in my best friend Ashley. She had free time and said she wanted to help. I trusted her completely. She knew everything about me, and I never thought she'd do anything to hurt me. But after success came cracks. Jake started coming home late. He whispered during calls when I walked in. Ashley became cold, distant, but always stayed close to Jake. I noticed it, but I didn't want to believe what my heart was screaming. One day, I walked into a board meeting and was told I was no longer part of the company. Jake said I was unstable, emotional, and unfit to lead. Ashley just sat there, quiet. She didn't even look at me. My name was wiped off everything. Emails, contracts, even the website. I went home and found my things packed. He had planned it all. 2 days later, I saw a photo of Jake and Ashley, together, smiling in what used to be our house. They had moved in like nothing had happened. I sat in my car that night and cried until my throat hurt. Everything I had built was gone. My love, my company, my best friend. I felt like I had lost my whole life, but something changed in me that night. I wiped my tears, looked in the mirror, and whispered to myself, this isn't the end. It was the beginning of something else, something stronger, something unstoppable. So stay with me, because what they did to break me only built something more dangerous. It all started with a simple idea. I wanted to create something that helped small businesses manage their work better, something clean, simple, and powerful. I didn't have money, but I had passion. I worked late into the night, learning how to design, plan, and pitch. I skipped parties, ignored vacations, and spent every bit of energy chasing that dream. Then I met Jake. Jake was charming, confident, and knew how to talk to people. He made me feel like I wasn't alone. I shared my idea with him, and he was excited. We'll build this together, he said. At first, I was careful. I kept the company name under mine and handled the finances myself, but he kept asking for more involvement. Slowly, he started helping with investor meetings, marketing, and pitching. I was tired, overwhelmed, and honestly, just happy to have someone by my side. That's when he started pushing for equal shares. He said things like, we're a team, or it's not fair if you get all the credit. I wanted to keep him happy, and I believed we were in it together, so I gave him 50% ownership. It felt right at the time, but I didn't know what was coming. Ashley, my best friend, had always been around. Since high school, we'd shared everything, secrets, pain, dreams. When things got busy at the company, she offered to help. No pressure, she said, just here to support you. So I let her in. She was good at what she did, handling emails, keeping track of small tasks. I was grateful, and I trusted her completely. But while I was working, Jake was building something else behind my back. He started hiring people, quietly, mostly his friends or old connections. I didn't question it much. I thought he was helping us grow. What I didn't realize was that he was filling the board with his people. Every major decision slowly shifted out of my hands. I thought I was still in control because I had built it, but the truth was, I was being pushed out one step at a time. Looking back, it was all so clear. Ashley started spending more time around Jake than me. They would whisper, laugh, exchange glances when they thought I wasn't watching. I thought I was just being paranoid. I told myself, they're helping, don't be jealous. But deep down, I knew something was wrong. By the time I saw the truth, it was too late. They had everything lined up, the board, the votes, the paperwork. My own company turned against me, and I didn't even see it coming. They had been planning my fall long before I ever thought it was possible. They didn't even try to hide it. One morning, I was called into a meeting I didn't know was scheduled. The room was full, board members, team leads, even the HR manager. Jake sat at the head of the table like he owned the place. Ashley was there too, sitting beside him, her face calm, like she had nothing to do with what was about to happen. Jake cleared his throat and said it in front of everyone. We've decided it's best for you to step away for a while. Your emotional instability has started to affect the team. I stared at him, shocked. I asked what he meant. He avoided my eyes. You've been unpredictable. You've been difficult. This is for the company's good. I looked around the room, searching for someone, anyone, to speak up. I had hired most of these people. I gave them raises, flexible hours, time off when they needed it. I believed in them, supported them, but not one person said a word. They looked down at the table, at their laptops, anywhere but at me. Ashley didn't say a single thing either. She just watched, her hands folded, lips pressed into a thin line. She knew everything we had been through together, every tear, every laugh, every win. And now she sat silently while Jake threw me out like I was trash. I stood up, heart racing, voice shaking, and asked if I could at least get my things. That's when the HR manager handed me a small box. We've already taken care of it, she said. My laptop, notebooks, even the framed photo of my parents were inside. They had planned this. They knew exactly what they were doing. I walked out that day with a box in my hands and nothing left inside me. Outside, no one stopped me. No one asked if I was okay. I sat in my car and didn't drive for hours. I just sat there, staring at the building I had once dreamed of, now lost to people who never loved it like I did. A few days later, I opened my phone and saw them, Jake and Ashley, smiling in my living room, holding wine glasses, wrapped around each other like the betrayal meant nothing. They looked happy, carefree, but they forgot something. When someone has nothing left to lose, they become something else, something they should have feared from the start. I had nowhere to go. No home, no job, no plan. The company was gone. The man I loved betrayed me. My best friend stabbed me in the back. Everything I built, everything I gave my life to, vanished in one cold boardroom meeting. So I slept in my car for days. I parked behind an old gas station where no one would notice me. I cried until my eyes burned. I didn't eat much, just chips and water. My phone kept buzzing with news, rumours, gossip. Some people said I had a breakdown. Others said I was always unstable. They said she was never right in the head, they said. Even people I had helped turned their backs on me. No one asked what really happened. They just picked the side that was louder. I looked in the mirror one night and didn't recognise myself. My hair was a mess, my skin pale, my eyes dead. I wasn't living. I was just breathing. I was ashamed. I felt weak, like I had lost not just the company, but myself too. But something changed. One night, while lying in the back seat, holding my coat like a blanket, I stared at the ceiling and said out loud, "Enough." Not in anger, not in tears, just firm, cold, clear. I wiped my face and made a promise to myself, not to forgive, not to heal, but to return, to rise, to burn everything they built with my ideas and expose the truth behind their success. I didn't want pity. I didn't want anyone to feel sorry for me. I wanted justice. I wanted every fake smile and every lie they told to crash down around them. Slowly, quietly, I started writing things down. Notes, names, timelines, every detail I remembered. They thought they broke me. They thought I'd disappear and they'd live happily ever after. But they forgot that when you betray someone who built from zero, you don't leave them with nothing. You leave them with rage. And rage doesn't fade. It sharpens, it focuses, it transforms. I wasn't going to stay broken. Not for them. Not for anyone. I started digging, not because I was curious, but because I knew something was off. Sitting in that car with nothing but my old laptop and a broken heart, I opened every backup, every folder, every file I had saved over the years. I had always been organised, always prepared for the worst. I just never thought the worst would come from the people I loved the most. The deeper I looked, the darker it got. Ashley hadn't just taken my place in Jake's bed. She'd taken my work too. My designs, my strategies, my plans for the next launch, all copied, rebranded, and presented as hers. There were even emails where she forwarded my ideas to Jake days before pitching them to the board, word for word, slide for slide. Then I found the money trail, hidden transactions that didn't make sense, marketing budgets that never reached the team, payments signed off using my digital signature, but I never approved them, forged, fabricated, fraud. I documented everything, screenshots, downloads, timestamps. Every single piece of proof I could gather, I saved and backed up again. I wasn't going to accuse without proof. I wasn't going to scream into the void. I was going to strike where it hurt the most, with cold, undeniable truth. I reached out to a lawyer, one I trusted from a workshop I'd attended years ago. I told her everything. She listened, asked for evidence, and by the end of our second meeting, she said 7 words I hadn't heard in a long time. "You have a solid case. Let's begin." So, I kept quiet. No rants, no posts, no warning shots. I didn't show my anger. I smiled when I passed people on the street. I liked a few of their posts just to stay invisible. Let them laugh in my house. Let them build a brand on my name. I wanted them comfortable, unbothered, careless. Because when people think you're gone, they don't watch their backs. And I was watching everything, every move, every word. They stole from the wrong person. They underestimated the one who built them. And I was about to remind them, this wasn't over, not even close. I waited for the perfect moment. Not when I was angry, not when I was emotional, but when I had everything. Proof, timing, patience. I sent the legal complaint first, straight to their office, their lawyers, and every board member who once sat silently while I was kicked out. Along with that came a digital folder filled with screenshots, email chains, bank statements, and forged documents. No rumors, just facts. Then I hit publish. A single post across all platforms, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. I shared my story, step by step, with evidence attached. No crying, no ranting, just cold truth. Within hours, it blew up. People reposted it, commented, tagged news outlets, and then Reddit got a hold of it. They picked the story apart like detectives, comparing old posts, launch dates, designs. People remembered the ideas I had once teased online and matched them with what Ashley had later claimed as her own. TikToks followed. Creators made videos showing the timelines, the betrayals, the receipts. Jake tried to respond with a long message calling it a misunderstanding. Ashley posted a video with fake tears, saying she was dragged into something she didn't understand. But the internet wasn't buying it. They saw the proof. And more than that, they saw themselves in my story, betrayed, overlooked, replaced. Within days, sponsors began to pull out from their brand. Big names didn't want to be associated with scandal. Investors went silent. One even commented on my post, "We had no idea. Thank you for bringing this to light." Their perfect image shattered. Media picked it up next. Headlines twisted the knife. Founder forced out by fiance and friend fights back with proof. Interviews followed, and I told my side with calm clarity, not to gain followers, but to make the truth louder than their lies. Their company collapsed faster than it rose. Clients left. Contracts were cancelled. Jake was caught in a financial mess he couldn't explain. Ashley lost all credibility. The same people who once ignored me now asked me to speak at events, to share how I rebuilt after betrayal. They thought they buried me, but they forgot. I was the seed, and when I grew back, I grew sharp, I grew wild, and I grew with a storm they never saw coming. While they were busy trying to do damage control, I got to work. No noise, no distractions, just focus. I didn't want to rebuild the past. I wanted something better, something that truly belonged to me. I started small, a new brand, a fresh name, no baggage, no shadows following me. Just me and the knowledge I had earned through pain. People remembered my story, not just the betrayal, but the comeback. I wasn't a victim anymore. I was someone who stood back up, cleaned her wounds and kept going. Messages poured in from women, creators, and even former employees who had left that toxic company long ago. They believed in me. They offered help, connections, encouragement. And this time, I listened. I brought in a team, not of friends, but of professionals who respected my vision. We built the new company on clear contracts, clean money, and real passion. Every decision was mine. Every design, every launch, every move. It had my fingerprints, not someone else's lies. To my surprise, the brand grew fast. People supported it because they saw the heart behind it. They followed not out of pity, but out of respect. I was invited to panels, to podcasts, to speak about what happened. Not just the downfall, but the climb back up. And every time I told them the truth. I didn't win because I had luck. I won because I refused to stay down. Jake and Ashley became just names in an old chapter. Their company vanished, their silence louder than their earlier lies. I didn't need revenge anymore. I had something far more powerful, success they couldn't steal. I became the face of resilience. My story wasn't just mine anymore. It belonged to anyone who had been betrayed, overlooked, or broken. I didn't plan to inspire anyone. I just didn't quit. And that's what made all the difference. I walked through the fire they set for me, and I came out stronger, clearer, and wiser. This time, no one could kick me out. No one could rewrite the story, because I wrote every line with my own hands. And finally, I knew, this time, it was mine, fully, finally, forever. One morning, out of nowhere, I got a message. It was Jake, the same man who threw me out of my own company, the same man who moved in with my best friend right after betraying me. His message was short. Can we talk? At first I felt nothing, no anger, no sadness, just curiosity. So, I agreed to meet him. We met at a quiet cafe where we used to go during better times. He looked different, tired, worn down, like the weight of everything had finally hit him. He didn't waste time. Said Ashley cheated on him with someone they worked with. Said she drained what was left of the company. Investors walked away. Clients disappeared. And Ashley, she moved on to someone else with more power. Jake sat across from me, eyes low, voice shaking, saying he was sorry, that he made a mistake, that he missed us, that he wanted another chance. I listened. I let him talk. I didn't interrupt him even once. But in my mind, I kept seeing the version of me who once begged for answers, who cried alone in her car, who felt like nothing. And now here he was, lost and empty, wanting a door back into my life. When he was done, I smiled. Not a fake smile, not an angry one, just calm, collected, peaceful. I stood up, grabbed my bag, and said nothing, not one word. I just walked out of that cafe and left him sitting there, alone with his regrets. I didn't need to yell. I didn't need to get even. I didn't even need closure, because I had already moved on. My peace wasn't in hearing him say, sorry. It was in knowing I survived it all and came out stronger. Jake was a lesson. Ashley was a reminder. And both of them were in the past where they belonged. Sometimes the best revenge is no revenge at all. Just silence, success, and peace. That day, I didn't walk away from Jake. I walked into the life I built without him, and I never looked back. Months after Jake tried crawling back, it was Ashley who came next. The girl who was once my best friend. The one I trusted with my secret, my business, my heart. She sent a long message, paragraphs of excuses, tears typed into words. I was manipulated, she wrote. I didn't know what I was doing. I thought he loved me. I never meant to hurt you. She said she was broke now, that the company was dead, that Jake had left her too, that she was battling depression. No one wanted to hire her anymore. Her name, once tied to our brand, was now dirt. She had no money, no friends, no direction, and she wanted to talk, to explain, maybe even to apologize. I read her message once. I didn't feel angry, not even sad, just tired of the lies, tired of people who only remembered your value when they had nothing left. Where was this energy when I was being kicked out? Where was this concern when she sat next to Jake and watched him destroy me? So I replied with just one sentence. You did this to yourself. Then I blocked her. No drama, no final words, just silence. Because closure doesn't come from hearing someone say sorry. It comes from knowing you didn't fall apart when they tried to break you. It comes from watching them sink in the hole they dug for you. It comes from walking away and never looking back. Ashley thought her regret would undo the betrayal. She thought if she cried hard enough, I'd forget the knife she helped twist in my back. But I had already buried that chapter, already burned the bridge, and I didn't need her guilt to heal. My closure was in my success, my peace, my new life. People like Ashley and Jake taught me one thing. Some betrayals don't deserve forgiveness. They deserve distance, silence, and success that they can only watch from the outside. I didn't need her apology. I didn't need her tears. I had already won. Looking back now, everything feels like a different life. A life filled with blind trust, naive love, and the belief that loyalty came naturally. But here's the truth I learned the hard way. Love doesn't equal loyalty. Not everyone who smiles at you wants you to win. And some people will use your heart just to step on your back on their way up. Jake made me believe we were building a future together. Ashley pretended to be my friend. I thought we were a team, a family. But business isn't family. It's not built on hugs and memories. It's built on power, control, and strategy. And if you don't protect yourself, someone else will use your kindness as a weapon against you. I trusted without contract, gave without thinking. I handed over shares, passwords, ideas, all because I believed love meant sharing everything. But love without boundaries is dangerous. Trust without protection is a trap. And silence, when things feel off, can be fatal. They didn't just steal a company, they tried to break me. They thought I'd stay quiet, that I'd disappear, but I didn't. I turned the pain into power, the betrayal into a plan. I studied every mistake I made, every blind spot, every red flag I ignored, and I didn't get lucky. I got smart, and once I got smart, I got stronger. I rebuilt my life without them. I learned how to protect my vision, how to stand alone, and how to trust myself more than anyone else. They wanted me out of the picture. They wanted me forgotten. But instead, they freed me from the illusion, from the fake love, from the toxic loyalty. Now I don't need apologies. I don't need closure. I don't even need revenge, because the lesson was enough. Love carefully, trust with limits, and never forget, what's yours needs to be protected, not just emotionally, but legally. Passion is not enough. Good intentions are not enough. And if someone ever tries to bury you, make sure they're the ones who end up watching you grow, because they didn't destroy me, they revealed me, and I'll never be that soft again. Do you think I was right to cut Ashley and Jake out of my life completely, or should I have given them a second chance? I'd love to hear what you think. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to hear more stories like mine, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update.